The Bears stopping their losing streak, trying to keep the good thing going, but against an Arizona Cardinals team that has the best record in the NFL. I'm Marshall Harris, joined by Matt Zahn from Halas Hall. And Matt, things interesting as we get back to practice. Of course, the big question about Justin Fields and those broken ribs. How is he doing, and is he practicing in full yet?
All right, well, the good news is he was out on the practice field. The bad news is that Matt Nagy said that Andy Dalton was still taking the starters' reps at practice. So Fields is working his way back. It's still unclear if he's going to be able to play on Sunday against those Cardinals. He did appear to be wearing some sort of small flak jacket to protect his ribs at practice. Obviously not going to take any hits on the practice field. We're going to have to see what kind of pain he can handle, if it's going to be a pain tolerance thing or if they're still just too hurt for him to be able to throw the ball well against the Cardinals on Sunday.
Okay, well, the bad news for the Bears is quarterback situation getting healthier and healthier over in Arizona after missing the last 3 weeks. It looks like Kyler Murray's ready to go. He's back at practice along with DeAndre Hopkins, who had missed time as well. So the challenge is going to be big, whether it's Colt McCoy or Murray on the field. Meanwhile, the Bears have some issues, Matt. We look back at last week, one of the wildest weeks of any team this season, just in terms of distractions. You've got team ownership addressing players and coaches, assuring them that no, Matt Nagy is going to be back at least for another week, I suppose. Do you feel like these distractions are getting away from what you're hearing from the Bears?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. Jaylen Johnson, one of the leaders on that defense, second-year cornerback, he seemed to be pretty honest when he was asked about trying to get past last week. He said, quote, "I don't think last week was a stressful week." Now, I'm sure Matt Nagy would disagree with that, but it seems like the team has moved on from them. Of course, they got that much-needed win against the Lions, and they had a little mini bye week. So I really don't think what happened last week plays too much of a factor with this team going forward.
Well, Jaylen Johnson, one of the guys who can talk and who can actually get out there and practice. I understand the injuries continue to mount for Sean Desai's unit on the field as far as that defense is concerned. What can you tell us about where we're at with injuries this week?
No Roquan Smith on the practice field today. Of course, he hurt his hamstring against the Lions. I would say at this point, it's looking like he's probably trending towards not playing against the Cardinals Sunday, although Matt Nagy said a trip to the injured reserve is not likely. Now, Christian Jones at linebacker will be the guy kind of filling in for Roquan Smith. He said, of course, he can't replace him, but he will do his best. He is a veteran who does at least know the system pretty well. And I wanted to mention one real quick thing about Christian Jones. He did clear up that little coin flip kerfluffle from the Lions game on Thursday where he accidentally deferred after the Lions had already deferred. He said basically he really wasn't listening to the official, but he was happy to entertain everybody on Thanksgiving. Said he got plenty of text messages after the game about it.
That is the time you want to actually be listening to the officials when you're figuring out if you want to defer or not. And the ref kind of helped him out with that one. Matt, big picture, and I know we like to take it 1 week at a time because that's what players and coaches tell us, but 4-7, yet a single game out of the final wild-card playoff spot in the NFC. Now, here's the catch. There are 7 teams between them and that playoff spot. Yeah. We saw them bounce back from a 6-game losing streak last year. Is it possible, or maybe I should ask, how possible is it that we see them put some type of rally together after a 5-game losing streak this year to make the postseason?
Yeah, I don't see it as being that possible, especially with the next 2 games coming up. They have the Cardinals coming off a bye, as you mentioned, the best record in the NFL. Then they face the Packers coming off a bye, so 2 tough games back-to-back. If you can't win both of those, it's going to be tough to get back in the playoff picture. This team at this point just probably isn't good enough to make a run to the playoffs. At this point, it's just trying to make the most of what you got left, hopefully get a few more games of a healthy Justin Fields out there and build for the future.
Well, the number one thing we'll be watching, I know you'll be out at Halas Hall watching, is if Justin Fields improves. And if he gets starters reps this week, that'll tell us a whole lot. Thanks so much, Matt Zahn from Halas Hall. We will check in with you all week long, keep you up to date on the Bears as they try to put 2 wins together with Arizona coming to Soldier Field on Sunday.